If you want to see what a garden looks like the last week of June, this video is for you. I'm going to be giving you a full garden tour of all of our garden spaces, thousands of square feet of food growing, and I cannot wait to show you. If you are new here, welcome to A Gardener's Journey Homestead. My name is Barbara. I live in the state of Tennessee in Zone 7B, and I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel. Let me know that you're new by going ahead and say hello in the comments. Let me know what city, state, or country you're coming in from so I can say hello back to you. Y'all, I'm finally excited. I've been trying to show you my garden, but y'all know it's been 40 days and nights of rain. And now, y'all, we are in a heat wave. I'm not just making that up. Like, the heat index has been 110 to 113 the past 2 days. Literally, y'all, I came outside this morning to water. I came back out this afternoon to water, and I had to take myself right on back in the house. It was literally just too hot to work outside. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. But if you've been here before, thank you so much for continuing to come back. I'm so glad and so happy. I hope that when you see this video that your gardens are doing so very well. If not, let's talk about it in the comments, and let's see if we can get you on the road to abundance. Now, if you are new here, we have 3 main gardening spaces that we garden in case this is your first time on my channel. And so just a little bit about me as a gardener. This is my 6th year gardening, but I still feel like a brand new baby gardener. Literally, y'all, I had never put my hands in dirt. So what you see today in this video is just the result of continuing to show up for the last 5 years through lessons, through struggles, through joys, through triumphs. I just continue to show up, and each year it gets better and better and better. And so I would encourage you, if you're a new gardener, to be inspired, be hopeful. And certainly, whatever questions you have about anything that I'm growing, I would be happy to share more. And so just put a question or your comment down below. But we're going to start in the first space. So the first space that we're going to see is behind my house. This is actually where my garden started, literally in 2020 in the month of April. I started with just 4 raised beds. Now, you'll see throughout this video, your girl kind of expanded a little bit past 4 raised beds, just a little bit. But this is still and always will be forever in my heart, because this is where my gardening started. Now, we added an additional raised bed, so I'll show you that. But let's first start with our green stalks, because we have, how many do we have? We have 6 green stalks back here. So let's talk through how they're faring this summer, what I have growing in them, and what the plans are and all of that. So this is the first space we'll do. And then also I'll show you the other 2 spaces. I will try to timestamp those down in the description box below in case there's a particular space that you want to see. But I invite you to watch the whole video and meet me in the comments. So let's go over to the green stalks. And if you don't know what a green stalk is, it is a vertical gardening system. I have 6 of them right here that you'll be able to see. And I have another one down at my high tunnel. It is a great way to grow food, especially if you're limited on space. It only takes up 2 feet of space. And as you're going to see, they come in all different sizes, colors, and textures, okay? And I'll go through what I'm growing in mine, and then certainly if you have questions, put them down below. I also want to remind you that Greenstalk is having their growing together in the USA sale. Look, I'm repping the gear. Here is the new shirt. I love it. It fits so good. It feels good. It's like a 3/4 length, like baseball tee. And I got the hat. And so if you want to be cute in the garden, go ahead and grab you a shirt and a hat. Send me a picture so I can see that we are twins. If you ever use a Greenstalk or order from their site, you can use my code LFF10, LFF for Living Foods Farm. LFF10 gets you $10 off of your order. So definitely, maybe you don't need another Greenstalk, or maybe you do. But definitely, if you're into the accessories, go ahead and grab this tee and this hat. It is so cute, so cute. And then also the snow, let me call it the right name. The snow and the blueberry are back for the sale. I don't have blueberry. I actually gifted that to one of y'all. I don't remember who I gifted it to, but I had a brand new blueberry that I gifted to somebody in my VIP group, if I'm not mistaken. In case you don't know, I do have a YouTube VIP group. They get all the goods. It's just $4.99 a month. And so if you want to join that group, the link is right at the channel name. Okay, so let's kind of go through. You'll see my snow as we kind of go through the green stalks. We got a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to give you a thorough, but also let's kind of move through the process. So the first green stalk right here are our strawberries. And let me just tell you, if I had to give a grade on these strawberries, F, okay? look, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to be honest. Y'all, the Japanese beetles got my strawberries. Now, it looks good with all this greenery, right? I have picked 4 strawberries. These are a June bearing strawberry. It ain't but a couple more days in June. I've picked, I think, 4, maybe 5 strawberries. Now, those 5 that I picked were delicious. But that's all I got. Y'all, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I see a flower. Look at that. I see a flower. And there's 1 strawberry there. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Y'all, let me just tell you something right off the offset. There are some things that I am excellent at growing. There are some things that even in my 6-year gardening, I have not had great success with. And strawberries is one of them. I don't know what it is. I've tried all different kinds of varieties, but I have never gotten buckets and buckets of strawberries like other people. So I don't know. If you got some tips, put them down below. This variety, I don't remember this variety. I'll put it up at the top. I have to go back and see what I ordered. Yeah, the Japanese beetles got a lot of them, and I treated it, and so the leaves are looking better, but y'all ain't got no fruit. Now, for June bearing, will they bear after June? Put down in the comments and let me know. But let's move on to the next green stalk. So the green stalk that you saw with the strawberries, that's the color blackberry. This color right here is, y'all, I don't remember the name of it. It was so pretty. Cherry blossom. That's the name of it. Cherry blossom. This is a 3-tier. This was a 7-tier. And so this is just all flowers. It has done well. I got some cosmos. I have a lot of petunias in here. More cosmos here that you can see. And then I have a coleus here that's trying to go to seed, probably because of all of the heat. But it's looking good. It brings me joy. Again, the heat and all the rain, they don't look the absolute best, but they still look good. Here's some cosmos that look good. But overall, I can't complain. This right here is the lilac. This is a 5-tier. So you can see we said a 7-tier, a 3-tier, and this is a 5-tier. This is where I have my tomatoes. And I want to talk about, I waited too long to get these. I need to pick these off. This right here is called Orange Hat. This is a micro tomato plant. And you can see I have several of them here. Let's go ahead and get these tomatoes off. You can see what they look like. So this is my first time growing this one. And they look good. I've tasted one last week and they do taste good. They're not as acidic. So this is a great variety to grow in the green stalk. I also have in this, at the top, I have some, that's a zinnia. And then I have some cinnamon basil at the top. I've pruned it and it keeps growing. This is a nasturtium that's really pretty. That's another nasturtium. This is another tomato plant. You can see it has plenty of blossoms on it here. And then look at this tomato right here. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That is near perfect. That is perfect. That is eye candy from Wild Boar Farms. Y'all, it tastes so good. This is a great one to add to your collection if you want to do like a dwarf tomato or something smaller. And then look, we have more orange hat. So the orange hat is producing. So again, it's a great tomato for the patio or for a container or for a green stalk. So I need to support my tomatoes. So we'll do that maybe tomorrow. We'll put our trellis up for our tomatoes. You see I have more tomatoes growing there, which are the eye candy. I just need to support them a little bit better and add in the trellis. And you see I have more there. I have some eggplant planted here. It hasn't done anything as of yet, but it's still alive. This green stalk here, this is the snow. I absolutely love the snow. You can see how beautiful it is, the color. And here I have tons of flowers. Y'all look, this is my first yarrow. So beautiful. I've never successfully grown yarrow until now. And look, it's in the green stalk. Y'all, this looks wild because of the yarrow and the petunias, but I don't care. Look, I got some Dusty Miller there, some nasturtiums and petunias down there, so it looks kind of wild, but I'm so excited about my yarrow. Now moving on here, this is the razzleberry green stalk. Y'all, look at these petunias in this green stalk. Now I had this with spinach and lettuce. I have taken that out because it's too hot for that, and I've replaced them with some marigolds. You can see here, I have petunias. I have some herbs growing. There's some thyme. I have some marjoram growing. I have a green bean growing right there. I have calendula. I have sage. So you can see this is doing so good. So very good. No issues with that one. And then this right here is called Beautiful Black. This is discontinued, so you can't get this color anymore. This is where I had my onions. They're flopping over. Let's pull one. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. Oh my goodness. Y'all, that's big. Y'all, I was not expecting that at all. So, y'all, that is a pretty nice size onion that grew in my green stalk. I will do it again. I will do it again. Oh my goodness. Let's pull another one. Not as big as this one, but y'all, that's a pretty good one. Wow. That's a small one. Okay. Y'all, more onions. Look at that. From the green stalk. So, yes, you can grow onions in a green stalk. This is amazing. I love that. Okay, I'm going to stop right here because the point of this video is a garden tour, not a harvest. But y'all, look at that. So if you've ever wondered, can you grow onions in a green stalk? Yes, you can. I will do that again. Last year, I did try it and I was not this successful. I think all of them were like maybe this size, which is still an edible onion, but it was very small. But I did it kind of towards the end of the season, and I think I pulled it. Like, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. This year, I actually did do a little bit of what I was supposed to do, but this is the biggest one. Like, that's a regular size onion that you find in the grocery store right there. Now, the ones I grew, of course, in my raised bed are like twice the size, but I mean, we ain't bragging, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, but like, this is a small one. But even if you got that and nothing, you can still chop it up and do something with it. But y'all, that's just the first row. I still have more onions in here. And then I have some dill going to seed, but there's some that's like right there that's still good, that I interplanted. I'm just leaving this for like the pollinators. You can see that it's going to seed. But I'll come through and I'll harvest the rest of these onions, and then we'll replace this with something else. I'm not sure what. Maybe we'll replace it with green beans or something like that. That might be what I do. But those are the green stalks, y'all. All 6 of them. Y'all, I'm on this right here. My yarrow and my onions have made me so happy. Now let's take a look at the raised beds. Do y'all see my dogs? They out here. Y'all know if you've been here, wherever I am, that is where they are. They just out here, sitting here chilling amongst the raised beds. Okay, this first raised bed, we have mostly Roma tomatoes. So we have Roma tomatoes here. Now, if you were here when we planted these about 2 to 3 weeks ago, they did not look like this. They looked, let me show you. They looked like this. Do you see this one? Check that out. Looks bad, right? Looks horrible. That is how they looked, if not worse. I just put that one in there 2 days ago because I found that when I had that one left over. I was like, let me go ahead and stick it in the ground. But that is what they look like. This is what they look like now. Do you see the transformation? If you were here, I told you these things were going to come back. This is a tomato plant that I started in February. It is now 2 or 3 ways away from July. It was yet hanging on, but when you give it the right conditions, the right soil, it's going to come back. Here's another one that looked just like that, and now it's looking like this. It's green. Here is another one. These are ones that I started from seed back in February. Now this right here, oddly enough, is one that I got from a nursery for like $1. But these are the ones I grew from seed. So I have Roma tomatoes here. I got a lavender there. I have some marigolds there, zinnia there, celosia. I have some peppers here. These are poblano peppers. And then I have some green beans that have popped up there, which is great. And then I have basil and then more tomatoes. So this bed here, again, I planted this bed just 3 weeks ago because out here in the back we had onions and garlic. So this is always the last place that gets planted out of my 3 gardening spaces. So this was my second succession of planting back here in this space, but things are looking good. Now going over to this bed, same thing. These are plants that are, oh, you can see they haven't quite bounced back yet because they're very, very yellow. But same thing, they will come back. They don't look as good as the tomatoes, but peppers just take forever. But these are all peppers that are old, that I started from seed, that I just put in the ground. They're growing, they haven't died, they just have not turned fully green yet. But I've been fertilizing, and of course they've gotten a lot of water. We got some petunias in the corner, some marjoram, that's old, marigold. This is a dahlia that I put there. These are all peppers. So I still have some open space in this bed, and I'm going to fill that space in, but I haven't decided yet with what. This bed here is our sweet potatoes that we planted just last week. So if you didn't see that video, I'll pop it up at the top. And then this second bed is sweet potatoes as well. So I have 2 beds of sweet potatoes, and this is like filled halfway. I found more sweet potato slips today from Home Depot. It wasn't my preferred, but I just want to fill up the beds. I'm going to fill them up with these right here. And in this very last bed here are mostly peppers, bell peppers, but I do have some zinnias. Here, you can see I got some peppers already forming. I have a eucalyptus there. I have a marigold there. And then my cucumber plant is going crazy. You can see I have cucumbers on the trellis. I gotta put that up. You can see that there. I still have some open space in here that I can plant more stuff. There's another one of those Roma tomatoes that were looking like death, but it's come back. And then we have plenty of cucumbers that we can come and harvest. You can see that there. Plenty, plenty, plenty. So this is growing on the vine. On the other side of this cucumber trellis are purple hull peas that are, they're growing. They just haven't caught up to the trellis yet. And then y'all, first time ever, look at my turmeric. I have one little, all of this was yellow like this, but this is greening up, and you can see I just have this one little patch of yellow right there. And then I have some ginger there. Y'all, look at this cucumber. It's hard not to harvest when you're out here. Let me go ahead and grab this one because that's near perfect. I think this is the variety Straight 8. And then I have more ginger slowly growing there. So y'all, this is the backyard. Last week of June, I promise you by a month from now, the end of July, this will be looking very, very different. Because remember, this is the last space that I planted. So most of these items have only been planted a total max 3 weeks. Now let me show you some of our fruit trees. My husband's going to create an area where they're going to all go right here. We're going to cut the grass here, landscape it, rock it in, but it's on the list. I'm so proud of my lemon tree. Y'all, she looks so good. This is the best my lemons have ever looked. I've never been able to successfully grow lemons. This is from Fast Growing Trees. I have a code if you want it. Get 20% off your order. I'll pop it up here on the screen, or it's in the description. So that's the lemon tree. This is my mandarin orange tree. It looks so good. I got some new growth there. This is also from Fast Growing Trees. This is called the Owari mandarin. This is my lime tree. All of these are from Fast Growing Trees. They're looking so good. And then this is my avocado tree. The Japanese beetles, you can see, got to it there, but it's still trying to hang on. So we'll see what happens. This is a cold hardy avocado tree. So y'all, this is the backyard space where my garden started, and 6 years later, it's still producing food. Y'all, I'm excited about this space. It again, because it is the last one that I planted, it's not going to look as developed as some of the spaces I'm about to show you on the next part of this video. But so far, so good. Japanese beetles really took a hit on my strawberries and on my avocado tree. But other than that, everything else looks pretty good. It may look a little wild, but that's okay. So now I'm going to meet you at our second space. Let's see if we'll do the outside garden. We'll either do the outside garden or the high tunnel, but I'll meet you down at the other spaces. They're right beside each other. And I can't wait for you to see what's growing in there. You're going to see it's way more than what's growing out here. This is going to catch up, but this right here has been growing much longer. I'll meet you down there. I don't know if you can tell, my husband is actually in the process right now as I'm videoing, putting our shade cloth back on. It's amazing how it was so bright in here, and now with the shade cloth on, it gets it darker. We haven't had the shade cloth on since October. We normally put it on in May, but with all the rain that we had, it was just a challenge to get it on. And then July was really mild. It was like 80 degrees until this very past week. But it's going to be a record heat wave this upcoming week, and so we definitely need the shade cloth on, and it's going to make a huge difference in the plants and the plants thriving. So our high tunnel is 30 by 96. We have 6 raised beds, and then we have 5 rows that are 45 feet in length each that we grow in. We've had this high tunnel since October 2021. So like I said, my garden started, we'll just follow the natural maturation of my gardening journey. So I started in my backyard with 4 raised beds. Then I added a 5th one the very next summer. And then the next fall in October 2021, we had the greenhouse or the high tunnel built. So let's walk in here. Let me just tell you right now, this is the no judgment zone. It has not been fully weeded just because, y'all, life, okay? So it is not the most beautiful in terms of aesthetics, but I do have a lot of food growing. So let's go check it out. So before we walk in the high tunnel, here's another green stalk that I have. This is a 7-tier. This color is called, I think it's called Stepping Stone, if I'm not mistaken. This is one color that they always have. Never discontinue. It's just a very neutral color. If you're not a color person, you just want something neutral to go with your decor, this is a perfect option. This is a 7-tier, and so I have plenty of things growing in here. I have basil, I have calendula, I have some red basil, I have marjoram, I have marigolds, I have, that's more marjoram, I have some dill, I have some dwarf nasturtiums. They had bloomed the other day, but the heat, I think, oh, here's one right here, peeking through. The heat the other day has just completely, and then a lot more basil. So this is mostly just herbs, and I have some peppers growing here. I got some little white buds popping up, but no peppers as of yet. I have some rosemary there. So just full of stuff, herbs, flowers, and small peppers that'll grow and that will fill out. We planted this one probably about 30 days ago, and so it's doing well, and I figure in the next month or so, like I see little peppers forming, we'll have this filled out some more. I do have another green stalk that I'm gonna do on the opposite side, but I haven't done that yet, so you'll see that hopefully in the next garden tour. But let's walk inside. Here's my citronella plant that sits outside. It's growing very, very nicely, so that's good. So let's start with this first bed here on the left. This is some coleus, is trying to go to seed, just probably because of the weather. We do not want it to go to seed. We want her to continue to bloom. But this is, I think it's called Autumn Sunset or Coloca Sunset. This one, we had potatoes right here that we just harvested. That video was last week. So we'll put in more stuff in these open spaces. We have an eggplant there. We have some gomphrena here. Beautiful basil here. I have cut this back so many times. Of course, the more you cut it, the more it grows back. Snapdragons still trying to hang on. They need to definitely be pruned and cut back because it's getting a bit too hot, but they'll come back in the fall. And then here we have oregano. Plenty of oregano. Okay, so this is bed number 2 on the left. I have some marigolds in the corner. These are bachelor buttons. I've never grown them before, so they haven't bloomed as of yet. So they grow kind of tall, I see. Basil, more basil here. And then look, y'all, look at this cluster of tomatoes. This is the Better Boy bush. It is a determinate variety. And y'all, I have clusters. Oh my goodness. Clusters upon clusters upon clusters. Oh, I see a little bug. Okay. I can't even lift it up and hold the camera. So many. I see some down there as well. So this is a Better Boy. I've never grown that before. It is a determinate, so that's why I have it grown in a raised bed and this inside this obelisk trellis. But man, y'all, I need to see if I can get some of these other branches clipped up because there's a lot growing down there. This is Status. It's my first time successfully growing Status. I'm kind of underwhelmed. I mean, it's pretty, but it's not like what I thought. It doesn't grow the way that I thought it would. But I heard that it's nice as a dried flower. So maybe I'll put this in my freeze dryer and test it out. Pretty color. But you see kind of how it grows? It's like looks like weedy and leafy at the bottom, and then these like ribbed vines or whatever. That's the wrong term, but you know what I mean. Here's my thyme taking care of the corner. There is some eggplant there that doesn't look so hot. I see there's a Japanese beetle on that, so I need to go deal with him. And then let's go around to the other side. This is the other side of the same bed. More basil there. Basil's a great companion plant for tomatoes, so I have plenty of basil because I have tomatoes in this bed. These are beautiful zinnias. And then here is another tomato plant that's doing well. I just have a little green stake. This is a determinate. This is eye candy from Red Boar Farms. This is the exact same one that we that we just harvested from the green stalk, except this one has way more tomatoes. You can see they are really doing good. They look good. And then this is my eggplant that I saw a Japanese beetle on. I have to come back and deal with that. Or maybe it was that eggplant there. But this bed looks great. Now this is the third bed on the left-hand side. We have spicy peppers in this bed. There is some lavender there. There is a spicy pepper. That is a Cosmo. That's a mammoth jalapeno. More basil, more gomphrena, more basil, and then look at this echinacea, y'all. This echinacea, this is year 3 that it's been in here, and it just comes back every single year. And then look at all of this rosemary. It is in abundance. It is in abundance. It smells so good. And then here's a celosia. So you will notice in every bed, there is an herb, there is a flower, and there are vegetables in every single bed. That's what you call companion planting. I have some open spaces here that I can still stick some stuff in, and I will. This right here is some peppermint that's growing nicely. Now, here's the first bed on the right. This is mostly an herb bed. You see I have some cinnamon basil right here in the corner. I have a nasturtium there. I have lavender. You can see my gomphrena. Behind the gomphrena is thyme. Then we have some chives. And most of these herbs have been in here. This is their second year. They keep coming back. Some zinnias, celosia. There's more thyme down there nestled, and some basil, and then rosemary in the back. This is a snapdragon that needs to be pruned as well. It has kind of gone wild and dying. There's a few blooms that's still there, but it's getting a little bit too hot for it. So I'll prune it back and it'll come back in the fall. And then we have our eucalyptus tree. This is our second one. You'll see that we have another one, but it definitely needs to be pruned for sure. But then the bed beside it is our bed that we just harvested our potatoes out of. And so we're in the process of refilling this bed. You see I put up another obelisk trellis. I have a aroma tomato on the inside, and on the outside I'm going to fill up the rest of this bed with more vegetables and herbs. So that'll be later on this week. It'll be full again so that we can get more production. And then this bed here is the third bed on the left hand side. Right here, this area that's open is where we had the big zucchini plant that many of you mentioned in my last video. I took it out because I saw squash bugs, and once I see them, I don't even fool with it. I just take it out. So we'll refill this space. I have celosia there, gomphrena, but most of this space is bell peppers and eggplant. So I have bell peppers kind of grown in the center. You can see they look tall and healthy. They just haven't produced anything yet. And I don't see any. I see a couple of buds. But bell peppers are slow. But once they start, usually towards the end of August is when they take off, which is odd. But they'll last all the way through October. And then here I have basil, and then I have eggplant all along here that looks pretty good. You see I have it nestled with some herbs to help with the pest. I have some cinnamon basil behind it. Then I have two basils kind of interspersed in between. But the eggplant, again, looks good. The flowers are forming. Now that we have our shade cloth on, I'm thinking that the less heat will be better for it. They both love heat, both peppers and eggplant. But sometimes if the heat is too intense, it won't set fruit. And then back here is a plant that you guys all told me I should grow, which is borage. It is large and in charge, but there's no flowers. And I have borage in a couple of other places in the garden, and it's not nearly this big. So y'all, do the flowers come later? I'm not sure, but it is quite large. And maybe it's doing a good job of taking care of the pests like you guys said it would. But I don't see any flowers yet. But then nestled behind it, I have a celosia growing, and then more basil. Along this way, these are looking good. I just put these in the ground probably a week ago. All in this space were onions. You guys saw me harvest those onions. I put onions around the perimeter of my raised bed, and it worked out really, really well. So we harvested those, and I replaced them with two dahlias that are looking really, really good. They have grown quite a bit. And then in the corner, I have thyme. So overall, these three beds are looking good. We have open canvas for this middle bed of what we're going to put in there. Now, this is my comfrey. It's looking great. We grow comfrey. We sell comfrey cuttings in the spring. No, we don't have any. They're all gone, and we sold comfrey plants. This is my actual comfrey. This is what we use to make the comfrey salve that we sell in our shop. Comfrey is great as a fertilizer. You can make comfrey tea, but it is also good as a salve for joint pain and inflammation. So you can make your own if you have comfrey, or if you need some, we do sell it in our shop. This is my first eucalyptus tree that's been here for 4 years. And y'all, we got to do something soon because this thing is leaning and it's all up against the rafters. It just needs to be pruned so very bad. So it's one of the things I need to put it on the priority list. It's been on the list, but just not on the priority list. But she's beautiful. Even more beautiful when she's not leaning. These are our onions that we're still curing. We have onions everywhere curing. Most of them are in the root cellar, but these are the ones in the greenhouse. And they're almost ready. You still see some green there. So I'll give them another, I don't know, week or so, and they'll be ready to go. Here's where we have some lemon balm planted. It has not taken off as of yet, but hopefully it will. And then let me show you the rows. So on this side, the first 2 rows are our tomato rows. We have done already a big harvest of tomatoes. You see we have cherry tomatoes. You see that we have them all trellis. Excuse this, that's where we pruned a few days ago. But you can see that there's a marigold interplanted in between. The tomatoes are doing so good. Tons and tons of cherry tomatoes everywhere. Tons of slicers. You can see I have plenty blushing that I need to come and get when this video is over. But the tomatoes are doing really well. Clusters and clusters and clusters. A lot of these are the same varieties that I've done before. So those cherry tomatoes at the top are Sun Gold. These here tomatoes are Cayman. The ones that you're seeing here, Cherokee Carbon. This is large red cherry. You can see they are huge. This is Sun Gold. Oh, makes a great snack in the garden. So good. Another Gomfrina. Y'all, they're just hanging by the clusters. Now, I have more cherry tomatoes than I wanted to have. How that happened, I don't know, because I specifically grew less cherry tomatoes. But as you can see, I have tons of them in here. Yeah. Something tells me that something got mislabeled because I didn't want this many cherry tomatoes, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Here is our second row of tomatoes. You can see it kind of goes all the way down, trellised up, and we have a lot of slicers on this row. Forming. They look really good. We have all different varieties. Like these are some big ones. They look so good. More cherry tomatoes. And so it's just a mix of cherry tomatoes and slices, but we have more slices on this row. And then we have some cherry tomatoes mixed in. The large red cherry, Sakura, are the main ones. And then these bigger tomatoes. Let's see, these are Jolene. That's a new variety for me. But so far they're looking really good. Looking really good. And then on the very end is the eye candy. Such a beautiful tomato. It'll turn this pretty red. This is the same one that we harvested in the green stalk. And it's the same one that I just showed you in that raised bed. But just stunning the way it grows. This is eye candy by Wild Boar Farm. This last row on this side, this is a zucchini plant. This is the Dunja variety. It may look like it has powdery mildew, but this is the way this variety grows. That's not powdery mildew, but I do see some squash bugs right there. Y'all, these things are relentless. So I'll probably be pulling this one out. Celosia, eggplant, more borage. More zucchini. This is the dark green variety zucchini here. More zucchini there. And then this side we have more tomatoes on the trellis. You can see tomato, 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 tomato. And then the rest of this is cucumbers that we have been harvesting. We are probably getting, if I had to guess, we're probably getting maybe 40 cucumbers a week. Yeah, maybe so. And we're probably harvesting 40 cucumbers a week, and that's more than enough. More than enough. So that's this section here. Cucumbers, tomatoes, and then 2 rows of tomatoes. Let's walk to the other side. These next 2 rows are peppers. But y'all, this is one of the most beautiful marigolds I have ever grown. This is, I think, strawberry blonde. It will definitely be on my list. I love it. It is so vibrant. So beautiful. But these are all peppers. Peppers grow a lot slower than tomatoes. So if you're having that same issue, don't worry, they're coming. This is a serrano. A serrano. This right here is the ají habanero. They are plentiful, just waiting for them to turn. That's a new pepper, but there are tons of them. That's another favorite marigold. We have harvested bell peppers. These are coming in, that's small. Basil. There's peppers there. We harvested probably, I would say 10 bell peppers so far. So not a ton, but they're coming. I'm pretty sure this is Jimmy Nardello. I cannot wait to try this because so many of you have recommended this kind. Confirm that these are Jimmy Nardello. I lost my tag, but I'm pretty sure this is what they are. I think they're supposed to turn red. So that's that one there. Another one of those marigolds. I love this. It's so pretty. More bell peppers. So bell peppers all along this row interspersed with flowers. And you can see that they are coming. That's Ajvarsky. That's a roasting pepper. And then you can see we have more peppers there. This whole second row are peppers. I see I have a yellow monster there. Huge. But the rest of this row, all peppers. Okay, y'all, so that is the high tunnel. Overall, things are looking really, really good. As you notice, I did not have Japanese beetle damage in the high tunnel. I saw that one Japanese beetle on an eggplant, and I probably need to get him in case he just showed up and he wants to wreak havoc. But I have not had nearly the pest pressure. Now, again, it's covered, although insects can come in and out, but that just goes to show you when you garden in different spaces, you can sometimes get different results. And so, again, that's just a difference. Everything in the high tunnel is pretty much looking really good. I'm really pleased with the tomatoes. They're all doing good. The key is to just stay on top of them in terms of pruning. So the goal is every single week I prune and I clip. I prune and I clip. That's just to kind of help keep them manageable. The work that I have left in here to do is just replanting spaces that I've harvested, and then also getting ready for fall potatoes, and then also getting ready for my third succession. We'll talk more about that in some videos in the month of July. So definitely, if you have not subscribed, this is a perfect time to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. By now, you should know you want to be here, right? You want to be here. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But this is the high tunnel. Overall, looking so good. So let me show you the very final space, which is my outside garden. And so if we're following the maturation of my gardening journey, I started with 4 raised beds, added a 5th one, and then we had the high tunnel, and then the outside garden that you're going to see. It originally started in, I think, 2022, so the very next year. So that was year 2020. 2021, and then year 2022, I told my husband I wanted to grow in the ground. I wanted to have that experience. And y'all, even though it is the hardest physically, there is something about growing in the ground and having an outside garden that I absolutely love. So when we did this space, it was originally 2,000 square feet. It was 20 by 100. The next year, 2023, I said, I need more space. I need more space. So what did we do? We doubled it. And so right now what you're going to see is a 4,000 square foot in-ground garden. It is 40 by 100. We have 8 rows and they're 100 feet in length. So let's go check out the outside garden space before we lose daylight. Okay, the first row is our corn, and y'all, I think my corn is ready. It is literally the last week of June, and she's looking like she's ready for sure. Tassels are turning brown on most of them. Wow, 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 wow. That goes so fast. This variety is peaches and cream. I started it in April. It was in the ground by the end of April. So it only takes like 80 days or so. But don't worry, y'all. Once we pluck this, we already have some corn started to do a second succession. So I'll have to come out here tomorrow and see if this is ready. But this is our entire corn patch. I think we probably have about, I think 70 if I'm not mistaken. 70 in here, which you know, in corn world, that's not a ton whatsoever. Y'all excuse the weeds, the rain. But let's keep going down this first row. Behind the corn are sunflowers. Some of them, there's a marigold tucked in. Some of them are old, some of them are new, but they're beautiful. They've been making the garden so pretty. And then over there are the onions that we started harvesting a week ago. They're not ready yet. And then these raised beds down here, we had all of our potatoes and onions. They have not been filled yet. Okay, the second row at the end, I have tons of flowers. One of my goals this year is that I wanted my garden to not just be productive, but I wanted it to be beautiful. And so I planted way more flowers just to bring me joy. And that's what they're doing. But behind the flowers, this row is our pepper row, non-spicy pepper. So a lot of these are bell peppers. You can see they are growing well. I'm waiting for them to kind of blush and change color. Some of them are small. Not sure why. Not gonna worry about it. That's a chamomile trying to still survive. Basil. That is a beautiful sunflower. We had a lot of rain and thunderstorms that knocked this row and the corn row almost kind of completely down. So we still have some plants that are down like that one. More flowers, more basil. But y'all look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, stunning. Oh yeah, we got some food too. That's a zucchini that's overgrown that we probably missed, but there's another one right beside it. We just harvested 2 days ago. That's a beautiful marigold there. Let's walk on the other side so you can see. It's hard to get around these big old plants. There is some gomphrena, more peppers. The peppers are doing good. Like I said, these peas are all over the place. We'll show you that next. But the peppers are slow. They take a minute, but they will produce. That's marigold. And then the rest of these are just peppers. You can see we have some here. This is our Jimmy Nardello. Yay, I'm so glad I have another one. That's a Jimmy Nardello. Great. And then just more bell pepper. So everything that's non-spicy pepper-wise is in this row. Then the third row, you see we have a trellis here. So the first half of this row are purple hull peas that look great. They are trellising up the trellis, which is great. They're all on the ground, but they're looking good. And we're starting to see flowers, which means we're going to have purple hull peas in the next probably couple of weeks. And I hope that we have a ton of them, because last year they did not do well for whatever reason. So that's the first half of this row, purple hull peas. And then you can see the landscape changes. These are, oh my goodness, there's some here. Rattlesnake beans, y'all. Didn't even know they were there. Didn't even know they were there. Y'all seen it with me the first time. Those are rattlesnake. That's what the rest of this row is, except tomatoes on the very end. So you can see these have grown so well. They're far ahead, and they're already producing beans, which is great. So great. So they're looking good. So if you've never grown rattlesnake beans, add them to your list. I'm going to tell you about them when we finish, and we finish the this. I'll tell you about it when I turn the camera back around. But you can see they all look good. Now there's some Japanese beetles up here that's trying to tear them up. So I need to come out here and spray in the morning, because I need y'all to get off my plants. Y'all, the Japanese beetles have been so bad. This is what they look like if you've never seen them or don't know what they are. They're horrible. The rest of this row are tomatoes. Amish paste. You can see they're growing nicely. This is, I think, Juliet, which is like a more of a grape paste tomato. But look, y'all, tomatoes, 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 tomatoes. This is just overflow. We have a whole tomato row. Now let's go to the fourth row. This is my, y'all, do y'all see this? Look at all those beautiful flowers. Okay, but let's focus. This row is kind of miscellaneous. There's some more peppers down here that are not spicy. Some flowers. There's some open spaces here. Then we're going to put some green beans in. More flowers. But then this is where I have some squash tucked in. I see that this squash plant doesn't look good. We'll pull this one up. But this is a good squash. Let me go ahead and get this one. And I'll be pulling up both of these because the squash bugs have already appeared. Per usual. That's an eggplant. Y'all, the eggplant plant is looking good. They just haven't produced anything yet. And these are new varieties. So I'm hoping that they're going to produce very soon. I see flowers. This right here is a dahlia, I think. Yep, that's a dahlia. These are green beans that are producing, that I need to come and harvest. Those are jade green beans. They're just now starting to produce. Oh, but I see quite a few here. And then the rest of this row is okra. We have, I think, 8 okra plants. They're coming along nicely. I see one little tiny okra forming right there. So, oh, I do have okra. Wow. See, already that one's overgrown. Okay, y'all, so I didn't even know that we had okra. I was just out here 2 days ago, which is why you gotta work your garden every day. We came out here and harvested. They were not there, so they just kind of formed. And usually they're much taller than that before they start producing. So I didn't even see them there. So definitely, today is a garden tour video. Tomorrow is a harvesting day for sure. But I'm about to lose daylight, so I won't be able to harvest a ton of stuff today because I'm trying to finish this garden tour video for you guys. So we've seen the first 4 rows. Oh, I want to tell you about the rattlesnake beans. The rattlesnake beans, this is my second time growing them. I grew them last year on my 3rd succession, so I did not even put them in the ground until July. Because they only take, I want to say 60, 70 days, somewhere along in there. As you can see, they're growing very, very nicely. But you can eat it as a green bean, or you can let it dry and use it as a pinto bean, which is what I did. And when I tell you those beans were so good, so good, so very good, which is why I grew them again. They will always be on my list. And y'all know I love me some purple hull peas. It's my favorite pea. And I try to grow enough for a whole year. I have been successful with that, except last year. For whatever reason, my purple hull peas did not do well at all. And so we're praying over these purple hull peas that they produce. So we've seen the first 4 rows. Now let's see the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's see the last 4 rows. Now this 5th row is what I call pollinator row. It is nothing but flowers. That's it. As far as you can see. As far as you can see. Zinnias, sunflowers, celosia, all different colors. Black-eyed Susans, the whole 9. Just all the way down is nothing but flowers. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This row number 6 is our tomato row, starting off with a basil. There's a pretty marigold. And then here are all of our tomatoes. This whole row, 100 feet, is nothing but tomatoes. So again, we're growing tomatoes outside. We're growing them in raised beds. We're growing them in the high tunnel. We're growing them in a green stalk. So many different ways and methods. You can see every plant is loaded. They're all green for now, for the most part. But you can see, I got a coming clip. But look at this, y'all. It's hard to do this one-handed. Clusters. Clusters upon clusters. A lot of paste tomatoes because that's what I wanted. We have some slices in here. But the whole entire row is nothing but tomatoes. We grow a year's worth of tomatoes to do all the things. Now, look at this calendula. This is called, I think, Pink Surprise. It's still doing well. I need to pluck some of these for my salve. And it's hot, but it's hotter in the high tunnel than it is out here because the high tunnel is going to make it 15 or 20 degrees. So all my calendulas in there kind of died. These out here are still looking good. Look at that pretty, pretty, pretty purple basil. More tomatoes. There's another calendula. And then all of this is just tomatoes all the way down. You can see some of the pretty, pretty zinnias. I'm growing on the next row, the pollinator row that I already showed you since we're on this side. Oh, this is a tomato plant growing with the zinnia plant. I'm not sure how that happened. I guess a seed or something got put over there. We don't want that. This row just makes me so happy. So very happy. Now, I have a lot of space, so I can dedicate a whole 100-foot row to flowers. And I love them. So one of the things is you got to make your garden the way that you want it. Not what the textbooks say. Make it a place that you want to come to. And that's what I've done. Now, row 7 is the spicy pepper row. I still have some open spaces that we can put stuff in. And these peppers are growing so slow. That's a lavender. I have some serranos here. There. Have some jalapenos. But overall, they are growing so very slow. But that's what peppers do. And then they take off. There's another borage, not quite as big. as the one in the greenhouse. But as you can see, I don't have many peppers to show on this row. I have a few here and there, but they're not in abundance yet. So that's this entire row. Now, row 8, look at this, y'all. They are spread all over. This is the reason why I expanded my garden, so that I can grow watermelons and cantaloupe the proper way. You see how big these vines, they need a lot of space. And that's why I expanded my garden, so they could have 3 feet of space on both sides. And they're taking up every bit of it. They are taking off. There's a tiny watermelon growing there. We got flowers. Oh, look. There's a watermelon. Oh. There's another one. So this whole 100-foot row is a mix of watermelon, cantaloupe, flowers, and herbs. All the way down. This time next month, we'll have much bigger watermelons to show. And then on this side, we have some blueberry bushes that we just planted. That's like an herb bed. Another blueberry bush. It's not producing anything as of yet. This is a blackberry. All of this is new this year. That looks good. And then this is my new bed that's empty that we got to fill up. So y'all, this is the garden, the outside garden. Okay, y'all, so the only thing that I didn't show you was our fruit orchard. I will do that in an upcoming video, but it's gonna be hard to see because the sun is actually setting as I'm talking. But y'all, that is the garden tour. It is doing so well. I'm very pleased. Again, the peppers are not, they not doing much, but that's okay, because peppers always do that. They always, at least for me, that's what they do. They take forever. And then when the tomatoes have petered out and they're just like, look, I'm tired, sis, it's August. That's when the peppers are like, it's my time to shine. It's my time to shine. And they will be in abundance. So I'm not overly concerned, although they do look kind of just there. But if yours are looking like that way, take hope. That is what happens. But I'm glad to see that at the end of June, we are just now getting to harvest season. We have had, I would say, 2 medium-sized harvests, but nothing like major big yet. And again, obviously that's relative for the growing space that you're growing in. But we have, my counters are already covered. I probably have, like I said, 10 bell peppers. I probably have 40 cucumbers on my table. I have 4 or 5 zucchini, a couple of squash, and I have 2 buckets of cherry tomatoes, and I have probably 20 to 25 slicing tomatoes. So that's still a lot to handle, but it's gonna get way bigger than that with the amount of stuff that we're growing out here. But things are on track and growing nicely. The biggest issue that I'm having is the Japanese beetle. That is the biggest issue. And I've had issues before, but it seems like this year it is way more prevalent. I've used like a neem oil concentrate. I've tried knocking them down and putting them in soapy water. That just takes a lot of time. If you have any other suggestions, put them down below. But I hope that your gardens are doing well at the end of June. Now, July, put your seatbelt on, because July is the biggest harvest time of the year. At least that's what happens in my garden. That is by far the biggest harvesting month, where everything is coming in. And so put your seatbelt on, because it's about to happen. But I pray that your gardens are doing well. I pray that you are living in abundance of your garden. Make your garden beautiful. If you haven't yet, you still got time. Make it a place that you want to come to. You don't have to follow the rules and the textbooks to say do it this way. Do it. Now, you got to follow some rules, but make sure that you make it a place that is your own, right? Work with the space that you have. If you're new, I hope that you would consider subscribing. If you've been here and you're already part of the community, thank you so much. Leave me your questions and comments. I will meet you in the comments. And remember, y'all, this is all a journey. As you can see, this is my journey over the last 5 years. And each year I have added and added. I didn't even tell you other stuff that I've added, but if you subscribe, then you'll see it. You'll see it, right? But thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you're doing well. Remember, it is a journey, but let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. And if you would, take a moment and go to our website at livingfoodsfarm.com. You can see all of the latest YouTube videos in case you missed one. You can subscribe to the channel, sign up for our email list, as well as join our YouTube membership. Also, we have many items for sale under the shop tab. You can go to kitchen or to skin and body, depending on what you're looking for. We source many of the items right here from things that we grow on the farm, or we buy from an organic source. We also have digital resources as well that you can instantly download. We have everything from seed starting calculators, how to build healthy soil, as well as 2-hour classes, replays on sourdough, canning, and fall gardening, and how to start your garden for the very first time. So go take a look, see if there's anything that you would be interested in. And thank you so much again for stopping by our channel.